Hello everyone, came in here to clean the visor on my helmet, and I thought I'd start recording with this little hot chick over here. Yeah. I start talking to myself and she's looking at me like, yeah honey, you're on candid camera. I got your ass for all of YouTube to see. Bye. Okay. I got a pretty good question from another YouTuber. It's a new person, noob, getting into sport bikes. And they really were wanting to start off with the Ninja 250, but he's saying he's got quite a bit of a commute to work, like 120 miles. I hope that's round trip and not one way. It'd be a shitload of miles to ride per day. So he was wanting to get the 250, start off, but his friends are telling him, you know, if you're doing all that freeway riding, get a 600. So he was asking my opinion, and that is a pretty difficult question to answer. So instead of trying to answer that question directly, I'm just going to throw out some pros and cons. Okay, so we have a noob wanting a 250, but he's got a shitload of freeway miles for commuting to work that he's got to travel each day. So the pros and cons of, well, I would like to suggest, you know, he would like to start off with the 250 to learn, but he doesn't think he's going to get that much in-city driving to learn on. So it's kind of difficult to say, yeah, go ahead and get the 600. Because when it comes to freeway travel on the 250, I found it to be an uncomfortable bike. You know, if I'm just out screwing around and jump on the freeway for 10 or 15 minutes, it was okay. For any long distance period, I got uncomfortable. The seating position is a little bit more upright, and when you're on the freeway, you do feel like you're a big air brake blocking the wind, slowing you down a bit. And it's funny because when I would tuck down as far as I could on the 250, I'd actually feel I could go another 3 or 4 miles per hour faster without doing anything to the throttle. And hold on. The seating position itself, it's just to me personally, it just got uncomfortable on long periods of time on the freeway with the 250. Now, riding on the freeway on this R6, I'm a little more hunched over, more aerodynamic, and I can do longer periods of time on the freeway with this one. So for freeway commuting, long distance, long periods, my personal opinion is the R6 is more comfortable than the 250. And another thing, a little thing I noticed that really bugged me on the Ninja was the size of the brake lever for the foot brake. Now I think it was a little bigger than normal, just because it's more of a beginner bike, so they're like, you know, wanted to make the brake lever bigger for a novice to find with their foot without looking. I found that to be very uncomfortable on the freeway because it really only limits the position of my foot in one position. And after a while, I would get, you know, my ankle would start cramping up, and I'm going to try and show you here on mine. Okay, I don't know if you can kind of see it, but see how I can have my foot forward and not hit the brake pedal? On the Ninja 250, it's sticking out about another inch and a half. So on the 250, I would always have to have my foot at that angle. What's up, dude? So after a while riding like that, it got very uncomfortable. And that was one design complaint I had. And I understand, you know, they want to have a bigger pedal for beginners. So, but in the overall picture, I found it to be very uncomfortable. But I really cannot suggest or recommend starting off with any 600, period. You know, a 600 sport bike for a complete beginner. Even if you know, circumstances is they're going to be doing mostly freeway driving on it. I'd really like to say my suggestions would be, see if you could find a really cheap used 250. You know, it's going to probably be the older style, maybe quite a few years old, quite a miles, maybe roughed up, dropped, but you know what, just find a cheap one as you can, knowing that it's just a beginning learning tool that you're going to have for probably about up to a year. Man, a lot of bikes out today. Cool. I would say in the long run you're going to be better off starting with the 250, even though you're doing a shitload of freeway miles commuting each day for work. I would say in the long run you're better off pushing a 250 as much as you can. You know, you're going to feel like you're on the little engine that could. I think I can on the freeway with it for the amount of miles you're doing, but it'll get you there. It'll teach you. You know, when you're cruising around town, you're going to shift a lot more than you would on a regular bike. But you know, that's part of the learning experience. Oh, is that dude? I saw that cop back there. He just pulled over under those trees in the shadows. He's going to set up a speed trap. That sucks. I'm going to watch this guy. I think he's going to pull in front of me. No, you're not. See, I told you. I knew it. You saw him turn over and look. At least he looked before he turned. I'll give him that. Okay. So where was I? Okay, yeah, conclusion. Oh, man, it is getting hot. Whew. I'll say, so my conclusion is, yeah, see if you can find a cheap 250, or even consider, probably hear me better with the visor down a little bit, or consider maybe the Ninja 500. I know they don't make them anymore, so if you can find a deal on a used one, might be more apt to keep that one a little longer. It should do a little bit better speed-wise or performance-wise on the freeway without, you know, maxing out in the RPMs. But I really cannot recommend a 600 as a beginner bike for anybody. I would just say, you know what, dude, just bite the bullet for at least a year. Find just a cheap used 250. Or, you know, just have fun running it out on the freeway. You'll enjoy it, and then in a year or so decide, you know, do you want to go up to a 600 sport bike, or maybe you want to try out a Ninja 650, might be more your style. I think you'll be better off in the long run starting with something smaller, but knowing that you are going to be trading out of it soon. Once you kind of gain it, you know, we'll just go ahead and call about at least a year. I just think you'll be better off that way. But you know, decision's yours. Whatever you want to do. That's just kind of my opinion on it, and I think that's about all I have on that one without starting to repeat myself. So good luck in your choice. Glad you took your MSF class. Glad you got your gear, and I just think taking the 250 or even a 500 would be a better teaching experience for you than just jumping on a 600 and doing mostly freeway driving. Just get a smaller bike, do your freeway driving. You know it may be a little odd or a little weird for a year, but when you're driving around in the city and so on, it'll just be better off overall picture, better teaching learning experience. Okay, that's all. Later.